Avengers Thunderbolts, we now have 14 MCU movies since Avengers Endgame. With that, we're ranking all 14 of these movies from my least favorite to my favorite. Comment down below your ranking, and what do you make of these phases after Endgame? Are we picking up steam, going to something great again, or should the MCU ended with Avengers Endgame? Let's talk about it all down below. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell, and let's hop into this. So in last place is Thor, Love, and Thunder. This is one of my least favorite movies of all time. I have constantly talked about it ever since I've seen this movie. It has just been my least favorite MCU movie in general, and one of my least favorite movies of all time, and one of the biggest disappointments of all time. Thor Ragnarok is easily the best Thor movie, so coming into this fourth one, we're thinking Taika can piggyback off of Thor Ragnarok with Thor Love and Thunder, and he doesn't. He gives us this schlocky, dumb, just immature and stupid movie. The entire time, within the first 3 minutes of this movie, really, you just know what you're in for when Thor hops on Stormbreaker and rides away on it like a witch. It's distasteful, and honestly, it's garbage. I absolutely hate this movie. At number 13, and I believe this movie is light years better than Thor Love and Thunder, but it's Eternals. And Eternals, I think everyone can kind of agree this should have been a Disney Plus series because they take like 10, 11 characters and try to cram them all together, teach us about them, get us to care about them, start killing them off, and then start making for something extra big at the end. And none of that really hits because it felt like they're trying to jam too many different things in at one time. This could have been a 15-episode Disney Plus series. Every episode introduces a different character, and they really get to dive into them. We really get to grow to like them and get more attached to them, but they try to do that in a 2.5-hour runtime. It looks good. Chloe Zhao's direction is fine. It's just a really boring movie that feels really messy, and just a movie you don't really care about these characters because you weren't given enough time to care about them. A for effort, I guess. They have some cool characters. Who knows if we'll ever see them again. At number 12 is The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel is fine. Definitely a lower tier MCU movie. For The Marvels, I didn't have much expectation for it, and still it didn't meet it. It felt very early MCU, like Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark World, just having a villain crisis, but also not really having like a painted picture of where they're trying to go with this said movie. Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, she's fine in this. Monica Rambeau, I found really dislikable, and Kamala Khan is the best part about this movie. Her and her family's dynamic is fun. It's a little kid meeting her heroes as a superhero. But it's cliche, it's really cheesy, and it's just one of those movies I don't know if I'll ever even go back to rewatch. Number 11, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the movie that set up Kang that went literally nowhere, and that's why I don't think I'll ever go back to rewatch this movie. It's even hard to talk about this movie inside the MCU because Kang, the big bad they set up, supposed to be the greatest threat the Avengers ever faced, first off gets his butt kicked by Ant-Man. How much of a threat is that guy? But also, they didn't go anywhere. Obviously, Jonathan Majors had some trouble outside of the MCU to where they're not going any direction with Kang anymore, so that really just made this movie, what? Stupid, dumb, a waste of time at this point? Yes, 100%. Especially with the post-credit scene and all the different Kangs. That's all going nowhere. And when you look at this guy, it's really, really hard to look at. It's almost as bad as a Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And now, man, I love me some Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but that CGI is not good. Don't be a dick, I guess. This movie just not great. Breaking us into the top 10, Spider-Man Far From Home. My least favorite Spider-Man Tom Holland movies. I've always not been the biggest fan of this one. The first movie to come out since Avengers Endgame, and it just didn't really do all that much for me. I thought it had cool moments, but I did not care for Mysterio as a villain. Thought Jake Gyllenhaal's performance was solid, but him as a villain overall just did not really sit well with me. Tom Holland getting the Edith glasses and then giving them away seems really just like a silly mistake because Happy tells him, Tony wanted you to have them. And then he goes, I'm just gonna give them away. It's all good. You guys can have them. So a lot of decisions made weren't that great. Every time I try to go back and rewatch this movie, the less and less I like it. Saw it twice in theaters, and both times I was kind of like, we're just missing something. What that something is, I'm not exactly sure, but we're definitely just missing something. At number 9, Captain America Brave New World. The first MCU movie to come out in 2025. I'd say from this point on, I have pretty solid enjoyment with all these movies. Captain America Brave New World is, I think, really overhated. Is it a little messy? Is it a little all over the place with its villains? Yes. Is it still a fun, entertaining watch? Absolutely. I think Captain America himself, Sam Wilson, really fits into this role, and he really kind of makes it his own. We've seen Captain America and Steve Rogers in like 8 other MCU movies, so for Sam Wilson to take that mantle in this, I think he does a good job. The reshoots are felt 1000%, and my favorite part about this movie, though, is Red Hulk, and we don't get him till the very, very end. And if we had Red Hulk throughout the entirety of this movie, I would have this a lot higher than I do right now, but overall, it's a fine movie. It's not like we haven't seen something like this before. It's a little messy, it's a little all over the place, the reshoots definitely are felt, but Red Hulk, when he comes in, that's pretty damn sick. At number 8, Black Widow. I remember seeing this movie and just instantly loving it more than most people. Is the CGI absolutely terrible? For the most part, 100%. And is the stakes really low because we know that Natasha's going to live? 100%, but is this just a movie that felt just overdue? 100,000%. Natasha Romanoff needed this movie and get introduced to characters like Yelena, Red Guardian. Dude, that is so freaking fun. And Taskmaster, really just not a great villain because she's not even the villain throughout this entire film. She's like the sidekick villain, kind of like Ronan was to Thanos. But at the end of the day, this movie's about family. It's absolutely hilarious. And again, get introduced to Yelena and Red Guardian. Make this just an enjoyable watch, especially leading into the Thunderbolts. At number 7, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. This movie screams Sam Raimi. It screams these horror vibes, and it's so different inside the MCU, and that's why I really dig it. I'm a big Scarlet Witch fan. It's also why I really dig this movie. It's so much different than the MCU's done before. You have a couple things in there, like the whole cameos are really just going to get people to want to go back and rewatch this movie with the whole Illuminati stage, and they just kill everyone. Very bold move, very interesting move there. Scarlet Witch herself, Elizabeth Olsen, just kills it in this movie. You can tell she's so broken, she's so just done with the world, and she's scary, she's menacing. Does it go a little bit over the top towards the end, especially with that post-credit scene and that third eye that Doctor Strange gets? Yeah, it's a little bit. But you gotta give it to America Chavez, Xochitl Gomez. I hope we see her again. She's such a funny character and really good actress, really just kind of stole this movie. Overall, makes it for a fun time. I definitely like this movie more than most. I can admit that. At number 6, Deadpool and Wolverine. I saw this movie 3 times last year, and at the end of the day, I think this is 1000% just a cash grab. It is a cameo-infested cash grab, and the third time I rewatched it, I was just like, I just can't really like this movie. It made it in my top 10 last year because I watched it 3 times. Literally the only reason. Ryan Reynolds is just a little too Ryan Reynolds-y in this movie, and it kind of takes me out of it. Hugh Jackman is definitely the best part about this movie. His monologues are so deep, they're so dark, and this movie is pretty funny, but after one watch, it's kind of like Thor Ragnarok, it gets less and less funny when it's trying to just be a comedy, and there's no serious moments besides the Hugh Jackman monologues. When you get to those cameos, especially seeing the Gambit, it's pretty damn cool because the Gambit is the only one from this movie coming into Avengers Doomsday. So I love Channing Tatum throughout his film. He was my favorite part. It'd be cool to see these characters come back, but nonetheless, it's a fun enough movie. People love it, I know. I'm in the minority here, but it definitely did not feel like an MCU movie. It felt like this movie went literally nowhere. It felt like a Marvel Studios production, not an MCU production, and I'll die on that hill, I guess. Guess I'm alone, all up here by myself. At number 5, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. I dig this movie. I dig it quite a bit. I saw it twice in theaters, watched it at home on Disney+. I think it's better than the first Black Panther. I'm definitely in a hot seat for that one. But Namor in this movie is such a great villain. The score in this movie is absolutely fantastic. And they did such a good job on carrying on the Black Panther mantle without Chadwick Boseman there. And this movie in the beginning and the very end is going to hit you right in the feels. I thought Ryan Coogler did a fantastic job by paying homage to the character of T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman and his family, while also not stepping on any toes and really crafting a very beautiful story. I dig this one so much. I would damn near say I love this movie. At number 4, Thunderbolts. This movie is so much different. It is so grounded from anything we've seen in the MCU before. It's about a bunch of anti-heroes all on their different paths of grief and depression, and it feels real, man. I think everyone has been here at some point in life when they wanted something so much, and then when they finally got it, it just didn't hit the way they thought it was going to hit. Makes it for a very beautiful and dark story, but it also makes it for a very funny story where they can kind of turn that into dark humor. My favorite version of all these characters we've seen, my favorite version of Yelena, favorite version of US Agent, favorite version of Red Guardian, favorite version of Ghost, and favorite version of Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes in this movie is bad the hell ass. I freaking love him, but the father-daughter dynamic between Red Guardian and Yelena is what sits with me, and this is what's making this movie one I want to go back and rewatch ASAP. I really, really dug this one. It's creeping up to be my favorite movie of the year so far. Thunderbolts! And that post-credit scene, is it the greatest post-credit scene of all time? No, but is it setting up for something big? Yeah. At number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This was higher on the list, but the more and more I thought about it, I had to go just a little bit lower because I don't know if I'll ever rewatch this movie because of how sad it makes you feel. I'm not saying it's a sad movie, but it is a dark movie learning about Rocket's past, and they're experimenting on these animals, and it just hits you so hard in the feels. Remember, my wife and I were crying buckets in the theaters, and then all of a sudden, when Rocket comes back and you get the No Sleep Till Brooklyn scene, it gives you some of the best action inside the MCU. I would say the first half is a little rocky. It's a little all over the place, but that second half, especially that third act, James Gunn cooks. He makes a fantastic movie, and this is one of those MCU movies when you left, you felt something. You were like, whoa, the dog days are over, and that song was just absolutely beautiful. So you gotta love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And number 2, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. They see this movie gets a lot of hate nowadays. I don't know how. This is a top 10 MCU movie for me. My most anticipated character for Avengers Doomsday right now is Shang-Chi. This movie is badass. It's so cool. I love the culture vibes they throw in here, and I love the villain of Wenwu, even though they did Wenwu a little bit dirty. But Simu Liu plays this cool, badass character of Shang-Chi so well that the entire movie I was like, I want to be this guy. I want to see this dude. I want to be his friend. He is so cool, and I think he's going to do some damage in Avengers Doomsday. Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings is funny, it's witty, it's fast-paced, it's martial arts, it's just so sick. I love the fights, I love the choreography, I love the action. Does it get a little crazy with dragons in the third act? Yes! Nonetheless, still a fantastic movie. But at number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home. And you can make the same argument for this that I did for Deadpool Wolverine. It's a cash grab, cameo-infested movie, 100%. But the main thing about this movie is what Tom Holland's able to do when he loses his Aunt May. Then he ends up losing everyone in this movie because no one remembers who he is. It hits you right in the feels that Peter Parker realizes everyone in his life is better off without him in it. And that right there is just a gut-wrenching thing to think of. But when you get our childhood heroes like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield back on the big screen, dude, I don't care who you are. The first time I watched this, my theater, I could not hear anything on the screen. My theater roared for minutes. And it was one of the best theatrical experiences of all time. I'll never forget the first time I watched this movie. Saw I think 3 or 4 times in theaters. Every time it was just so awesome. It's a little cheesy sometimes. It's a little kind of slower towards the beginning. But when Tobey and Andrew come on screen, it's everything more you could have wanted. I hope they come back in Avengers Secret Wars. That would be absolutely awesome. And that's going to do it for my ranking of every MCU movie post-Avengers Endgame. What do you make of it? How does your ranking compare? Let me know down below. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Thank you guys for watching and for being here. Lots more MCU content coming over the next couple days. I'll see you guys in the next one.